like the top 3 tips you have for somebody in your industry.
To success. How may I help you?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan Harris here, aka DeVante Styles, and today I'm breaking down an episode of my podcast, DeVante Talks with Success, where I talk with Dan Fleyshman on his 3 secrets to success on how to become a successful entrepreneur. So, without further ado, let's hop right in.
It's really important to make sure that there's clarity. The communication part is so important on the contract, via text, via in person, on the phone, however you're doing your communication. There has to be absolute clarity of what you're going to do and what you expect them to do.
Okay.
The biggest problem for people is, let's say I leave the house in the morning and we're roommates, and on the table there's plates and it's really messy, and I just assume that you're going to clean it up because I think you're going to. And then I get back from work and you're off at school, and I get back and there's a big messy plates and I have a business meeting there.
Yeah.
Well, should I be mad at you if I didn't clearly say, hey, I have a business meeting coming at 5 o'clock, can you clean it up?
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes people just assume that people are going to do something, and at the same time, you might have assumed I was going to clean it up before the meeting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take that in every aspect of my life, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, friends, business, paying social media influencers. If I don't get clarity, how can I expect them to do what I want? And too often people think that we're mind readers, like your girlfriend or wife or boyfriend or husband cannot read your mind the same way your employer reads your mind. So the clarity is, I'd say, the most important thing.
Tip number 1 from Dan is have absolute clarity in communication for expectations. What this means is don't expect people to be mind readers. Don't expect other people to know what you want to get done if you haven't specifically asked them this. If you haven't specifically asked them for what you would like or what you are expecting to get done, then you can't get mad at them. And you need to get better at asking people what you want so that it clears the air and there's less friction or struggle between communications. This will allow you to grow better in friendships, relationships, and business partnerships because you tell them what you're expecting, they tell you what they're expecting, and you guys are able to jointly get that done and feel better and trust one another more. Now let's get into tip number 2.
The second is signing very basic contracts. Those basic contracts go from as high level as $1 zillion people to your child, making them sign like three sentences saying they are going to do their homework for the next 30 days, and at the end of 30 days, they are going to get an Xbox or whatever that thing is.
Okay.
Signing basic contracts with people is just, it makes the same thing about the communication. It makes it on paper and it makes clarity so that both parties know what they have to do in order to have a result.
Yeah.
Tip number 2 from Dan is sign basic contracts. The reason why this is important, again, it helps with clarification. It identifies I do blank, you do blank, in exchange for blank, and it gives you a time period for when it needs to get done. As he says, sign basic contracts from your kids doing X amount of homework or doing X amount of chores to get an Xbox or a Fortnite skin or whatever it is that you guys sign the contract on, as well as up to billion-dollar business deals for we need to get blank done, you need to get blank done in this amount of time. It allows you guys to have a structure of what you guys agreed upon and allows it to not just be words but written in physical form so both parties understand what they need to do in exchange for what they want and know when it needs to get done. Now let's go into tip number 3.
The third thing is blunt honesty.
Okay.
Like, people try to sugarcoat things too much, or they're too scared to just explain the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is always going to come out.
Yes.
It's way better to come from you than from somebody else 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
For lots of reasons in between.
Yeah.
The resentment, the frustration, the wonderment of trusting you, saying, ripping the band off and saying, hey, I can't make your clothes in time, or I can't manufacture this on time, or this campaign needs an extra 6 days. Like, just saying that puts you in a situation where they can work through it. You guys can all work through it. But if you don't say it, and then the 6 days happens, or the 3 weeks happens, or the thing doesn't happen, now you're in a really bad spot because they're very mad at you for all sorts of different reasons.
Tip number 3 from Dan is be bluntly honest. Now, I know this might scare a lot of you because that means you're going to have to confront someone and tell them that you're not able to do what they asked or produce what they needed on time or maybe make it to where they want you to be. But the thing is that one, when you start lying to people, even if they're small lies, they're going to continue to get bigger and you're going to start believing the lies that you're telling people. As well as 2, which is the truth is going to come out eventually, right? So if you tell this person upfront and honest, they get to hear what actually happened and not the stories that people are going to tell them, as well as they get to understand that things aren't going to be produced when they want them to be, or you're not going to be able to make it or not be able to do what they asked, and they will be able to prepare for that and try to figure out a solution around it before it comes up and they're expecting you to get something done because you've told them that and you're not able to produce what they want. Alright guys, let's recap what we learned in this video, starting off with tip number 1, which is have clear communication for expectations. Understand that nobody is a mind reader. If you do not ask somebody to do something, you cannot expect them to do it. You have to give that ask so that you have a chance for them to execute on what you expect. You can't be mad if somebody doesn't do what you want them to do if you've never asked them to do what you would like them to do. Tip number 2 is sign basic contracts. Have this all the way from your kid doing X amount of chores to receive an Xbox to you doing $1 million deal with another business. Understand that these basic contracts are for clarification so that each party knows what is expected from them as well as when it is expected, and it's written in words so either party can't say, oh, I didn't understand that needed to be done. It's set in stone and you guys both know what needs to get done. And tip number 3 is be bluntly honest. The reason why this is important is because the truth is going to get out eventually. So do you want the 14 lies that people told them and them not knowing what you intended? Or do you want them to know the truth straight up front and try to figure out a solution to the problem that is at hand and maybe give you a more extended time or help you out and what you need to get done? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, the rest of my conversation with Dan Fleyshman will be in the link down in the description. It will be linked to my podcast where you can hear the rest of what we talked about. As well as if you enjoyed this video, it would mean a lot to me if you give it a thumbs up, click that like button, and click the subscribe button down below. I'd love it if you stay in tune for more content, if you enjoyed what you watched, and I hope you have a fantastic day.